Welcome to the Asian Pitbull Raw review. Now this is a new series that I'm starting where I review WWE weekly shows including Monday Night Raw and Tuesday Night SmackDown, and also the major events and pay-per-views, and also other wrestling promotions including AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling. I've been a wrestling fan for more than 20 years and I do have my fair share of opinions and feedback, and I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna be super honest. There are things that I like, I mark out for, and things that I hate, absolutely hate. Who booked this shit? Sometimes I go, who booked this shit? So anyway, without further ado, you can see here, this is the format I'm gonna use. I'm gonna break down the different segments, and overall, I'm gonna give a final rating. So sit back, relax. I hope you feel entertained by this, and please also feel free to give me your comments. Discuss in the comment section below. Everybody has an opinion when it comes to wrestling. That's what makes the community. We gotta make our voices heard, especially to WWE. So let's go. Firstly, the show kicked off with the Reigns-Shane Mcmahon segment, and I'm reading off the notes that are written here because this is lesser of a recap but more of my thoughts. So they are applying the wildcard rules, which doesn't seem to have any major impact because it seems to only apply for the top stars. So far, we've only seen Roman Reigns and Kofi Kingston and Charlotte, and these few top stars that are switching over the segments between Raw and SmackDown. So if it's really a wild card, this should be open to everybody. But anyway, the wild card rule doesn't make sense from the beginning, so let's skip that. I noted here they are really pushing the Super Showdown show in Jeddah. I don't know the full name, but I thought it was Crown Jewel, but it is this. I'm just gonna call it the Jeddah show, the Saudi Arabia show. Okay, because we all know this is just a cash grab. The Saudi Arabia is paying Vince McMahon tons of money to put up this. Okay, so we have a lot of matches that are just thrown together. Undertaker, Goldberg. As much as I like to see this just thrown together. Randy Orton, Triple H just thrown together. So anyway, let's move on. Um, I feel that Shane McMahon and Roman Reigns, they should have a much bigger angle than just have this B storyline. This is a B plus storyline at best, because Reigns is supposed to be our top player, top guy for this generation. Okay, and Shane McMahon is the son of Vince McMahon, and it all started when Roman Reigns punched Vince McMahon in the beginning, and now Shane is trying to get revenge, and he's the heel and all that, whatever, blah blah blah. I just think that they should have a much bigger role in the current scheme of things, in the current landscape of WWE. But we'll see how the storyline plays out. And also Shane McMahon, when he's giving this promo, he looks really comfortable in the heel role nowadays compared to when he just turned, and it's really good. Shane is a long-term veteran. He has always been a student of the game. This is in his blood, so it's no surprise he cuts excellent promos. The psychology, everything is there. So I think that his chemistry with Reigns is really good, and it's good that they are hiding Reigns' weakness, which is his mic skills, and letting Shane McMahon talk more. If you notice, he goes rather long in his promo, provoking Roman Reigns, and this is really a good strategy because Reigns is at his best when he just have to come back with that one or two cool one-liners. Okay, that's Roman Reigns. Okay, Roman Reigns is not supposed to cut 20-minute promos. Okay, so this is really well booked, I feel, and I like the fact that they are pointing out that Roman Reigns have not tapped out before. They seem to be focusing on this fact that Roman Reigns has not tapped before. So possibly we may see this come into action in the Jeddah show, where possibly just predicting that Shane McMahon will put Roman Reigns in some sort of hole. That's for sure. That's gonna happen because they're trying to sell this storyline. Whether Reigns tap out or not is another story. He will definitely not tap out clean to Shane McMahon. But if it's a screwy finish, then so be it. That's it. Uh, WWE is also, they are also mentioning Stomping Grounds. I'm assuming it's in the next pay-per-view. I didn't know there's a new pay-per-view called Stomping Grounds. I have no it's just bland to me. You know, nowadays the product, but I still prefer the old pay-per-view, and I want you to bring them back. WWE, the King of the Ring, Armageddon, Elimination Chamber, Judgment Day. Okay, instead you have all these fast lane and stomping grounds. Doesn't make sense at all. So anyway, moving on, Drew McIntyre comes out. I cannot buy into Drew McIntyre also. He's just he has the look for sure. Everybody is saying he has the look, but he hasn't proven anything to me yet. His mic skills is nothing, just that bland, fierce, one-dimensional shouting kind of I'm gonna kick your ass, I hate you, blah blah blah. Try to inject some comedy into it. Come on. There's a lack of mic skills nowadays. The art of talking, the art of entertaining with the mic has been lost. Nowadays, there's lesser and lesser people that can talk on the mic. But I still don't buy into Drew boring McIntyre. Okay, every week he comes out to bore me. Same thing as Baron Corbin. But anyway, I don't want to go long on Drew McIntyre. Anyway, the suddenly revival attacked Roman Reigns from behind for no no reason at all. I guess the only reason they're setting up for the Usos to help their cousin, and AKA together they're called AKA the Bloodline. Okay, what a cool name. And they're setting up for this six-man tag match. So I do like the fact that always Reigns' cousins, the Usos, come and help them, but they never flesh this out properly. They should have a segment. They should have a three-man segment between them to and let them spend more times together as as a faction instead of just every now and then coming to help. Okay, I've noted here that the Shadow Machine, the Revival's finishing move, looks really good, really polished nowadays. Especially, oh, I forgot to press this. My first show, apologies. Anyway, we are at the six-man tag now, so you can see the picture here. The Shadow Machine looks really good, and I think it's gonna be one of the classic tag team finishers in history when we look back. Same as the 3D. Okay, next you have your, before we go to the Miz TV, then after the match ended, you have your classic heel faction beat down, four of them beating down Roman Reigns. I just felt that there should, in these kind of segments, as I feel the same way for all these kind of beat downs, you're having four people just absolutely killing one person. This kind of segments, there should be blood. In the past, in the ruthless aggression era, in the Triple H beatdowns, in the Evolution beatdowns, that when Evolution beat down Goldberg, or Evolution beat down Randy Orton or Batista, there's always going to be some weapon and blood to really build up the feud. But this is just becoming watered down nowadays. But the thing I like about this is Shane McMahon giving the spear to Roman Reigns. Shane can give a really good spear. Go and see the replay. Go and check it out again. Shane really flies into Reigns, so I really like that spear, the psychology and adding to the storyline. Okay, and finish this segment with Michael Cole saying that will Reigns tap out. So they are still focusing on this, the aspect that Reigns has never tapped out before. Okay, and then we come back. Matthew McConaughey is in the audience, and then the Miz TV follows, and Miz is like, all right, I like that little touch. And here's the thing, this is why WWE is still the juggernaut, because its connection with the celebrities and its mainstream exposure and brand name is gonna be here for a long time. We wrestling marks, we fans, we are excited about AEW. It's gonna be the next thing, yes, but for it to legitimately be competition and reach that kind of status and brand and level that WWE is gonna take decades, okay? But at the very least, we can see some action nowadays, which is good. But this is not talking about AEW versus WWE. So moving on. Oh, Seth comes out and he he's talking, and I written down here, I'm starting to detest Seth Rollins as a babyface because apparently Miz was saying something, and Seth was like, bingo. That's such a cheesy face. Bingo. It's just little things that Seth has always have that baby, that baby voice. Okay, I don't know how you call it. He doesn't have that rugged voice or that rugged look like Stone Cold Steve Austin. So it has been going on weeks and weeks. I check wrestling forums, listen to other people's thoughts on this. Seth Rollins is just not cut to be babyface. He needs to go back to that ruthless, almost chicken shit but very ruthless Seth Rollins, heel Seth Rollins, where he has the authority and he's curb stomping Dean Ambrose, aka John Moxley now, into the concrete or the cement block. He needs to go back to that. Babyface Seth just doesn't cut it for me. Although I love the catchphrase "burn it down." And also we are talking about the focus for this Miz TV is on the Brock storyline, the Money in the Bank. So for all we know, I don't know where this is going. I'm gonna talk more about this later on in the show. My thoughts right now as I was watching in this segment is that he may cash it in exactly 1 year later and just be playing this mind game throughout the entire 1 year, just tormenting. He's the what, purveyor of paranoia, right? As Corey likes to say. So who knows how they are going to book this, but we saw a little clue later on in the show, so we'll talk more about that later on. But anyway, this is an intriguing storyline, one of the better storyline right now, and it's the main event storyline, so it is intriguing, and kudos to WWE for making Brock interesting again, especially with the Brock party, and making this this is a storyline that we really haven't seen when it comes to Money in the Bank. This purveyor of paranoia, and that the chaser, the Money in the Bank holder is more dominant, and just this scary shadow looming over the champion. Okay, so really nice to see, really refreshing. And moving on, um yeah, so halfway during the Miss TV segment, they cut to the backstage, and you see the limousine arriving, and suddenly there's this impending feeling of dread, and you see who else but Paul Heyman comes out, and just being Paul Heyman, typical Paul Heyman, and then Lesnar comes out from the back, and Lesnar is really here. Okay, so uh and Heyman says, let's cash it in. And then this is so funny. And then Lesnar just slams the briefcase onto Heyman. I thought that the dynamic nowadays between, all along it has been like that, but the dynamic nowadays between Heyman and Brock is really funny. Um, so they are walking to the arena, and then really you can just, I that's why Lesnar still has that vibe, still has that monstrous vibe. He's still the beast, because when WWE books him, right, whenever he comes out, the entire landscape changes. Like Michael Cole likes to say, the entire mood changes. Okay, so there's always that legitimacy. Brock Lesnar's gonna kill somebody, so that's what was happening here. um and everybody stops what they are doing. Seth is getting ready, and then suddenly we see that Brock changes direction. Instead of heading straight to the ring, he changes direction, therefore playing that mind games again. The purveyor of paranoia. Okay, and so far really good job. They're just teasing this. Is he gonna cash in or not? So really well done, really good TV. Then Seth is over, man. Although I don't like his baby face, but he is over, man. The crowd is chanting, "Burn it down, burn it down, burn it down." His Seth is really over, but I really hope that we can go back to the era of Hugh Rollins. Next we have the Lucha House Party and the last Sullivan segment. So I believe this was supposed to be a tag match, And the thing is also, I want to mention that I love the fact that Lars and Brock Lesnar are in the same arena, because I like to see these two face each other one day, because I want to see how they match up. It seems like, Lars is getting the Brock treatment when he was just debuting, that monster push, um, killing jobbers, and it's just the same path. But of course, Lars Sullivan is nowhere near the credentials and athleticism of Brock Lesnar. But just interesting, like, visually seeing how these two monsters, if they are ever put together. Okay, so my thoughts also is that they are trying to build him up as this freak of nature, but it's been too long already. It has been what, 4 5 weeks already, and I'm gonna give them maximum 2 more weeks, um, hoping that they can finally give him a credible opponent, a solid feud, instead of just making him squash jobbers. Because a significant number of people already know what this person is all about, this monster is all about. We don't need to see him crush the Lucha House Party every week by week by week. Put him in a credible feud already, and let's see what he can do. Okay, also I was surprised that how they booked this, instead of just last just killing all of them, the Lucha House Party actually has the upper hand. Very rarely we get to see that, and the segment cuts off like that. But end of the day, Lars gonna get his revenge. So yeah, so moving on, we'll see what this happens, how this feud plays out. Then we move on to the women's backstage segment, and I'm not really into all these. Okay, the women's storyline is just a personal preference. But I'm not too sure either what Nikki Cross is right now. Is she a face, or is she crazy, or what? And is she pals with Becky Lynch now? Okay, and we see the Iconics are just teasing her. Then Alexa Bliss comes in, and it looks like she's still injured. I'm not sure about that. It seems that she's still injured, and I don't know the direction they are taking with Alexa and this entire. It all seems so messy, but at least the Iconics, I really like their shenanigans. They are really all in. They are really all in, if you get what I mean, into their characters. I like their little, the way they exited the camera shot. Really funny, really good portrayal of their characters. And then there's character development actually for Alexa, because when she says that everybody can't stand her because she used to be so hated, because of her past antics. But then it's Alexa Bliss. I don't know whether she's face or heel, because the way that she's talking to Nikki Cross, it seems that she may be trying to manipulate her and use her for whatever reasons. It's Alexa, you can never be too sure about her. So the storyline continues, we'll see. Then after that, we move on to the Becky Lynch segment with Lacey Evans. Then after that, Charlotte comes out. This kind of segment looks like it has been repeated hundreds of times. There's nothing special about all of this. Actually, to be honest, I don't really see the appeal of the women's revolution. Just my opinion, okay? I think it peaked during the Ronda Rousey year, the 1.5 years ago. And I don't really buy Becky Lynch as this tough fighter. Sure, she's a great wrestler and she's passionate, and she has heart, but she ain't no way she's a fighter, man. The By far the most legitimate badass was Ronda Rousey. Now that she's gone, I hope she comes back, but there's really no reason for me to watch the women's wrestling and segment now. I think it's peaked at WrestleMania. Okay, so here's the thing. I still don't buy into Lacey Evans. I like her gimmick, but I agree with what JR says in one of his podcast episodes, that we still haven't seen what she can do, her full abilities in the ring. She has this awesome gimmick where she's interrupting superstars, and just they're working a segment now with Becky Lynch, but I need to know whether she can go, otherwise it's all useless. And we are gonna see her go in the in in the Charlotte and Becky match. Okay, but anyway, I forgot to press again. Now we are in the Becky Lacey Charlotte segment. Okay, so I wrote here that I really like the little interaction between Lacey Evans and Charlotte when Lacey said that Charlotte is daddy's little girl, referring to Ric Flair, just trying to seek attention. And then Charlotte just casually saying, is anyone going to hold the ropes for her? Because she's the queen, right? That's a gimmick. I really like that. They are really building up their characters. And then I like the way that she says that she's also Charlotte, I mean, more than halfway to beating her daddy Ric Flair's 16-time world championship record. So she's right. She's right. And I think someday definitely she will break the record if anyone is either Cena or her. But she's really embracing all this, so I really like that. And then Lacey just knocks the hell out of her with her so-called her finisher, woman's rights. But the thing I don't like is that no selling shit. She been hit by a finisher, no, and she absolutely Charlotte. I mean, absolutely no sells the hell out of it. Just doesn't go down at all. Holds onto the rope and just looks pissed. Just finisher. You should be eating that finisher. This is not Superman, in this case Superwoman booking, I don't know what is. No selling at all. Come on, man. Whoever booked this, leads to a match between the two, and then in the end Becky um interrupts for the DQ finish. Now Becky is the face, right? So why is she faces doesn't do this. Faces don't interrupt in matches unless you want to sell that Becky Lynch has gone over the edge and is crazy now. But if that's really the case, then in the promo before that she should have been angrier to tell me that she's fed up crazy now for Lacey Evans costing her the championship in Money in the Bank. And during the match itself, Becky Lynch was standing ringside and just having that smug arrogant look on her face. If you're so pissed off and crazy and over the edge ready, you just seething by the teeth and ready to get someone. But I'm just ranting here. This is just my opinion. But anyway, we'll see how this turns out. As this is the match, I forgot to press again. Please, Asian people, remember to press. Next we have Rey Mysterio relinquishes the US Championship. So Rey comes out with his arm is bandaged up with the US title. He looks really good, by the way. I really like that black mask. And then Rey is speaking. Okay, so he starts addressing the crowd, and when he speaks when he speaks in Spanish, little phrases here and there, I can't help but think of Eddie Guerrero, man. Rest in peace, Eddie. Reminiscent of Eddie, you know their relationship, the family. But anyway, I'm calling it now that Mysterio also mentions about his son Dominic, who has already started in the wrestling business. We will see that father-son match in the next 5 years. The way they are building up to this, it will start out with they will tag together for the first time ever, maybe possibly during this year, when Rey is recovered from injury. And then I'm predicting within the next 5 years we'll see the father and son feud, and then Dominic will be the one, ironically, to retire Rey Mysterio. Full circle, huh? Okay, anyway, Samoa Joe comes out, interrupts Rey Mysterio before he can give the official speech. And yeah, that's a really good heel move. I like that, because you know he doesn't even give Rey the chance to finish what he was saying. And Rey really has improved on his mic skills, I feel, because Rey is not known as a good mic worker back in the past, in the ruthless aggression era. But now he really, the way he's presenting himself, he really has that aura of a wrestling legend. That's Rey Mysterio. Okay, and really, Rey is also really the ultimate babyface of all time. He was just saying that, okay, I relinquish, such a man of honor, I relinquish my US title to Samoa Joe. You know it's killing him to say it, but he still says it anyway, like an honorable masked luchador. And he lays out the belt, about to leave the ring, then bam, Samoa Joe with the cheap shot, and then the coquina clutch. And here's the thing about, here I'm gonna start again. Here's the thing about Samoa Joe booking. This is something that we have seen Samoa Joe done time and time again, just being so ruthless in segments, uh, building up to the actual pay-per-view match, where he just destroys ruthless promo, ruthless coquina clutch on Rey. We've seen it done on AJ Styles, and even in the past Brock Lesnar. But my question to you, WWE, is when are you gonna give Samoa Joe the freaking heavyweight championship? How long has it been already? All his peers, AJ Styles, has won the championship except Samoa Joe. Because if this doesn't eventually lead to a world championship title reign, who by far is perhaps the best monster heel that you have, WWE, then it all means nothing. The story is repeated time and time again. Samoa Joe with on the field destroying, then after that when he challenges for the heavyweight championship, he loses to Brock, to AJ Styles. He is by far the most dominant, one of the most dominant, and I'm not a Samoa Joe mark, but just the booking is so obvious. When the hell is he gonna get the heavyweight championship title? Vince, when are you gonna give it to him? Then we have the backstage segment of getting ready. Oh, Lesnar. Okay, so we have the backstage segment of Lesnar getting ready as if he's going for his next UFC fight. Again, this is really great job. Good booking. This is solid WWE stuff. Even in Attitude Era, you'll see cuts here and there, transitional backstage segments where they are building up to the main event. Really, really good stuff. Classic WWE stuff. They should do more of this. And then we see the next segment is the arm wrestling. Out of nowhere, I guess WWE every now and then just needs to have an arm wrestling match. Okay, so to put it into their catalog of arm wrestling matches, um, this is another put together feud. I don't know the storyline. What's the storyline? What's the rationale? They're fighting each other. Previously, they were just tag teaming. But anyway, Strowman is another one that is going nowhere. And I think he has climaxed already. Means that he has reached his peak already. And it's just another attraction nowadays. But then again, because my point about Strowman is that why hasn't him won the heavyweight championship? Yes, you can argue that Monsters doesn't need the heavyweight championship, but the thing is, if you look at Undertaker, if you look at Big Show, if you look at Kane, all of them won the championship at least once, and very early in their career. So you should have do the same route as Strowman. 1 year ago or 2 years ago, or previously when he was having that one-on-one with Lesnar, have him win the heavyweight championship, then drop it. At least he has that credential, ex-heavyweight champion, and then just let him the rest of his career become this monster, just replacement for Big Show. See, he even went over Big Show, but Big Show has been WWE champion many times. When the hell is Strowman gonna get that championship reign? I'm not a big fan of Strowman at all, but in terms of booking, in terms of credibility, storyline wise, he should already have a heavyweight championship. And the thing is, I don't see him going anywhere because his stock has just been plummeting ever since he lost to Lesnar a few months ago. He's just going nowhere nowadays, just plummeting. So I don't ever see he should have won the heavyweight championship back when he was flipping trucks over and weekly segments where he was destroying shit. But I just don't see him going anywhere. And also, is he face or heel? I also don't know. And then Lashley comes out, and personally, I'm a mark for both Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar. And WWE, I am still waiting for Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar. When are you gonna do that? Lashley wants the match. I'm sure Lesnar isn't gonna back off, isn't shy for a fight. Put them two together, okay? Just before any of them leaves WWE. I don't know why there's such an obvious matchup. Both MMA badasses, legitimate fighting background, but you just don't put them together. Okay, next, where am I now? Yeah, anyway, they showing that they are giving a theme song to the Jeddah show. Vince has really sold his soul to them. Vince has really sold his soul to money. To giving a theme song to a throwaway pay-per-view. Pay-per-view that isn't even traditional pay-per-view. Okay, but anyway, the segment, the arm wrestling segment wasn't anything special at all. Um, Lashley won. No, Strowman won, and then Lashley attacked him by throwing the chalk over here. Oh, I got it a bit mixed up. So anyway, there was a Cesaro and Ricochet backstage promo before the actual arm wrestling match. So I wrote here that Cesaro is just an overgrown wrestling nerd. He still doesn't have the fire or mic skills after all these years and still wearing braces. What the fuck? He's amazing in the ring, but zero, one of those guys with zero personality. That's why he with his credentials and his look, he has never won anything credible. Um, but the wrestling matches between Ricochet and Cesaro are good. Amazing what they can do in the ring. Anyway, Bobby Lashley comes out. Bobby Lashley is a specimen. And then Bobby Lashley starts with a slap to Strowman to incite him. And then typical Strowman is, I'm angry Strowman now. And with the angry Strowman look. But the thing is, ironically, Bobby Lashley, with his fighting credentials, he can actually whoop Strowman's ass in real life. I bet my money on that. Okay, because Strowman looks strong. Strowman is a strong man, but when it comes to fighting, I think Lashley will win. Anyway, the first time they went for it, the hands slipped. Strowman goes for the chalk. Lashley goes for chalk also. But then eventually Strowman wins convincingly after a little bit back and forth. Then Bobby with the chalk to the face and then proceeds to kick him. And then Lashley with the show of strength goes for the power slam, which is the running power slam, which is Strowman's own move. Really powerful display of strength here, and I'm very intrigued and curious to see the actual match. Man, this Bobby Lashley is booked strongly. But anyway, all this the same as Samoa Joe. All this booking means shit if it doesn't lead to the major main event. For Bobby Lashley is the match with Brock Lesnar. Looking forward to the match. Next we have the women's tag match. As nothing interesting. Uh, the ending of the match had Peyton Royce kicking the coffee out of Alexa's hand. Alexa becomes sad. Then Nikki has a cool finisher. Nikki Cross has a cool finisher, gets the pin after the distraction. Alexa is embarrassed and then becomes pissed off, runs to the ring, whoops the Iconic's ass, and the friendship continues. Okay, next. So Rollins, Corbin, and Lesnar segment. Um, Lesnar's backstage preparation is hype. We cut to that. Then now Rollins is talking. There's a bit more sense of urgency now. He talks suddenly. Lesnar's music hits. Lesnar's coming out now, but then nobody shows up. Lesnar doesn't show up, so it's just my games. Then it's a fake out, as Corey said. Corbin attacks from behind. They start to argue and start to fight. Then they are really good, doing a good job at building the frustration Seth Rollins has, and that the focusing that he's on the edge. Now Becky Lynch should have been booked this way, but anyway, I guess they only focus on the main event when it comes to good booking, and not all the time either. So anyway, Lesnar music hits again, but he doesn't come out, and Corbin attacks from behind again. Then now Rollins is down, almost out. Lesnar's music hits for the third time, and this time he's really out. And he's not just walking out, he's marching out with Heyman, with the briefcase, with the referee, and holding a steel chair. That's the thing about Lesnar, man. That's why he get paid so much. Whenever Lesnar comes out, the entire mood changes. You know, legitimately, he may just hurt somebody. So we know that Rollins' ass is gonna get whooped. Comes down the decimation, the slaughter of Seth Rollins. Steel chairs, then few steel chair shots, looks super hard. Then brings him to Suplex City. Then this is a good storyline. This is a twist, a little twist. We zoom into Heyman, who's shouting to Brock to cash it in now. But ironically, Brock, to our surprise, he screams, "Not now!" to Heyman. So immediately I'm thinking, if not now, then when? Isn't the entire purpose to conjure up this plan during this show, build up the paranoia, come out only after the third time, after Rollins is down, massively whip his ass, kill him, pin him for the easy win, get back your championship? But he says not now? Then why are you attacking him? Even Heyman is shocked. Even Heyman is perplexed. Why isn't Lesnar cashing? Then Heyman is going crazy now. Really like this entire storyline going on now. Then Lesnar continues Suplex City, and then goes to Heyman, and we see the shot. Lesnar looking down, shakes his head, and says, "Friday, Friday." We know Friday is the Jeddah show. So what's the point of whipping Rollins' ass other than sending a message? And we see the camera is zooming in to Seth Rollins, and he's bleeding really bad on his back now. And this shows that Lesnar really hits fucking hard. He doesn't pull back when it comes to the chair shots. So, man, Lesnar has so much leeway. But anyway, I need the answer to this because it doesn't make logical sense. He was practically guaranteed. He's guaranteed the win. Rollins is down. You can count him to the daylight comes. He will not kick out. The guaranteed win was there. The championship was there. So WWE, you better give me a good answer to this. Friday, you're telling me the wait to Friday. Are you telling me? Are you setting this up so that I buy the network to watch the show? I don't know. Are you gonna give me some stupid screwy finish at the Jeddah show, or what's gonna happen? So this right now, the entire build during the show is really great, but then this ending doesn't make sense at all. But I still won't say it's a fail. I still won't say, I don't want to I want to give them a chance. Okay, so let's continue. Let's see what happens with it. Like I said, for all we know, Lesnar could continue doing this. Maybe the Super Showdown show, he says, "Not now, not now." Then just continues this for an entire year. Who knows? Anyway, Lesnar continues to go back, slam the briefcase on Rollins, continue kicking his ass. Um, and Brock, as he was going back, The Brock party. Brock Lesnar is scary, man. Lesnar is scary, man. He can still kill your ass and have so much fun doing it. Lesnar is just amazing. One is once in a lifetime. And now kids, wrestlers back then, new wrestlers. This is how legitimacy looks like. Lesnar. That's the reason why Lesnar is still that number one guy, because this is what this is as legitimate, ass kicking, slaughtering as I've seen, compared to any beat downs, compared to the Attitude Era, compared to the Ruthless Aggression Era. Lesnar brings that credibility even without the blading, the chair shots to the head. Good stuff, good stuff. Storyline wise, Rollins was beaten down to the point that he needs medical attention. We see the stretcher out, then we see the backstage where he's sent to the ambulance. We see Becky backstage, and just a little nitpick. We on on social media, yes, people who are on social media, they know that Seth and Becky are a thing, but officially in the storyline wise, your weekly television series, it doesn't make sense. Why is Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins together? You haven't addressed this in your weekly shows yet. At least have a segment saying that we have a thing for each other, we are together or something like that, or just make them the power couple. But story wise, like, this is just stupid, doesn't make sense. Anyways, the ambulance leave, and also I don't like the fact that whenever there are this kind of brutal beatdowns nowadays, the announcer team, including Michael Go, they just go silent. I miss the days where JR will go crazy because he despises that superstars act so much. Case in point, Triple H. Why, Triple H? Why? Tell me why? When he's attacking Austin. But, well, we will never see this nowadays. So, yep, just go back to old YouTube videos. Anyway, next up, Firefly Funhouse. Here's the thing about I like this new gimmick a lot with Bray Wyatt, and this is like the fourth or fifth week already with the Firefly Funhouse. It's don't misunderstand me. It's another great segment, obviously coming from the screwed mind of Bray Wyatt, and I like that he's introducing new characters to this world, this TV show. Huskus, the fat pig. It's a little throwback to his Husky Harry's days, and the Devil Vince. And I like this because it shows that Vince is self-aware. Okay, Vince, if you're so self-aware, why are you so stubborn? Why you still stick to your old ways 20 years ago? I don't know. Anyway, the thing I don't really dig about this segment is that there's no link to the previous 2 weeks, because they're building up, then they climax on the fourth segment, I believe, to the review. That review of this other demonic side of Bray Wyatt, this entire super cool look, super demonic, crazy new Bray Wyatt. But then this is like a drop down, because in this episode the demonic, that dark Bray Wyatt, I'll call it the demonic Bray Wyatt, isn't shown at all, and he's just going back to fun and games. So I don't know, for me the momentum should always be going up, not going down. So it seems like yes, it's another good segment, and they gave 4 minutes for this segment, but the momentum is going down, and if you continue doing this, it will just, fans will start to lose patience, because this has to lead to a re-debut. This has to lead to a segment where Bray Wyatt has to actually finally show up live. The most, I give him 2 more weeks also. Show up live, re-debut, and starting a feud with somebody, attacking someone with their new gimmick or something. Otherwise, this is just going nowhere. Don't fuck this up, WWE, please. Okay, I'm very intrigued, still very intrigued to see where this goes, but we'll see. Then of course next, we see Trips backstage, and now it's time for the, and 3 hour show is really long. Raw 3 hour show is really long. But this is a really stacked Raw. I wrote now. You have Trips, you have the Undertaker later, you have Reigns, Rollins, Lesnar. Oh, all the stars are showing up for this Jeddah show. But anyway, we start off with NXT chants. NXT for Papa H, and voices interrupts, and then Trips smile because and Orton smiles because I you can just sense from the segment they don't really give a fuck anymore, because they know that this is just for the money. This is just for the royal family. Vince has to put up 2 or 3 main events, and all they have is Trips and Orton now. And then there's just no build up, no real reason why they're fighting. They're just rehashing this, put this together. And then we hear a bit of RKO chants when Orton came out, which is surprising. Orton has reached that level, he deserves it. Papa H be like, man, he has that proud look on his face. Go and check it out again. Triple H has that proud look. Yeah, I really built Orton. Orton did turn out to be a star. Proud Papa H look. Okay, anyway, they say Trips begins by saying, you know what all these segments are about. You build up for the fight, blah blah blah. I think deep down he's just trying to indirectly telling everyone that, yeah, we know, Vince is just putting this show together for Saudi Arabia and blah blah blah. We just gonna do it. Going through the motions. We are just going through the motions. It's all about the money for Vince. And Trips says this night that nothing he's gonna say or nothing Randy's gonna say is gonna bother any of them, which is true. They've been through so many feuds in the past. But anyway, Trips says that he's coming to Jeddah to kick Randy's ass. And the first thing Randy rebuts back is that he says that he's not Baptista. He says that he's not Baptista. We all know what happened there. I like the callback. I like this evolution storyline. And Randy points out he's still the legend killer. And he may just kill Triple H's career. Wow, so Randy is still living that gimmick. It would be interesting if Randy is the guy to end Triple H's career. And Tripp says that Randy is one of the best to ever step foot in the ring, and for all of us, we can feel it. Even Trips, even Randy felt it. It's from the heart. Randy Orton has earned it. It's definitely one of the best in the ring ever, period. But Trips says that Randy though is not the one to put him down. That's strange. Why would you point that out? Unless Randy is really the one to put him down. If not Batista, then who? We all thought it was going to be Batista, but now will Randy be the one to put him out, to put Triple H out? I don't think so, because Trips still looks like he's in fabulous shape, still looks like he can go. But I like that they pointed out. I like this line by Trips. And then Randy says that he tells Trips to retrieve his balls from Stephanie's purse, blah blah blah. How many times have we heard this insult to Trips? And then Trips just smiles and he just goes on to say that Randy has no balls. This is just a stupid segment. And then Trips ends with saying that I'll see you in Jeddah. And he almost cops. If you look back to the video, the way he says I'll see you in Jeddah, when he says Jeddah, Triple H almost cops. And then the camera shows Randy, and Randy just lost it. Randy doesn't give a fuck. Randy has stopped giving a fuck a long time ago. And Randy is just laughing. And Trips is just laughing, and they're just laughing at each other. We all know what this is all about, but anyway, this is just stupid. Next up, Undertaker. But then we still have Ricochet and Cesaro. 3 hours Raw is still damn long. And one thing, I don't know how many of you realize, 2 weeks ago, they mentioned Mick Foley introduced the 24/7 championship on the third hour of Raw. And then they were dimming the lights. And Mick Foley was saying that, oh, the third hour starting from now, the third hour is going to be grittier and more for the mature audiences because we're dimming the lights. And they hype us up to, oh yeah, the third hour's Raw is going to compete with AEW. But now you see what happened. The no the lights are back up. No more dimming of the lights. Is as if back to normal. Everybody, or maybe the producers just forgot about this. What the hell, man? What the hell, man? After 2 weeks, it's back to normal. Just something I realized. Then the match between Ricochet and Cesaro. Ricochet is amazing, by far. Probably the most gifted, most athletic superstar I've seen ever. And especially that top rope, or especially that, not top rope, but that pop-up hurricanrana. That's going into the highlight reel, that pop-up hurricanrana. Anyway, just a good match, but they need more time. Ricochet with the win, but they need more time for this to be a classic, which they can make this a classic. But I feel they place this in the wrong time slot because it's just, we are just waiting for the Undertaker to come out. This should have been placed in the Divas women's tag match instead, and the women's tag match should have been here instead. Anyway, Cesaro, after the match with the cheap shot, goes down to find the table. And then R-Truth is there. Who booked this shit? R-Truth is there hiding the entire night. Carmella comes out, jobbers come out, shit ensues. I like where the 24/7 championship, the concept, it makes for some great TV, but this is just a tiring episode of Raw, man. Okay, let's close it up. The final segment, Undertaker comes out. And we all know this is just to build up for the Undertaker Goldberg match. And personally, I don't think this should have been the final segment. The main event, the Rollins Lesnar storyline, should have closed the show. But you all know Vince. We all know Vince likes the past attraction. As much as Undertaker is my favorite wrestler ever, it always happens like this. The big names comes back and they just eventually get a main event spot. Okay, Lesnar's Taker still looks good. Taker is still over with the Undertaker chance, and this is just the same old Taker promo about death and the Reaper, and he'll take your soul and darkness, blah blah blah. And then Taker botched his line. He's going to say something about you choke before he said that he botched his line. It's gonna be a time, and it's coming soon. Taker's gonna retire, and I'm gonna cry. Okay, and it's sad that it's coming soon, but appreciate that Taker is still in the game. I like this line. It's fired up. We know this put together, but Taker said something that made me interested. He says he doesn't want the family man Goldberg with the loving wife and the boy and his son. He wants that mythical, iconic Goldberg in caps. So I like that, and I want to see the mythical, iconic Undertaker, dead man, in action as well. So rest well, train hard, recuperate. I hope you too. Veterans legend put up a great match, and then Undertaker finishes by saying you're next to Goldberg, and the show ends. So overall, this is a really stacked Monday Night Raw. So-called is the go-home show for the Jeddah Super Showdown show. Doesn't even feel like a pay-per-view. Super oversaturated already, I feel. But overall, I feel this was a good episode of Raw. So I'm gonna give it 8 out of 10. I feel that, the timing, the pacing, is done pretty good. The highlights for me were the Rollins, Corbin's, Lesnar segment, and Undertaker segment was pretty good as well. And also the Rey Mysterio segment, Rey Mysterio Samoa Joe segment was pretty good as well. But they gave good time, allocated good time for the other mid-card stories, and good, at least there's progress. So this is my overall my review. I hope you enjoyed this format. I really enjoyed making this. It went much longer than I thought. Originally I wanted to make this for 5 to 10 minutes, but I don't know, man. I guess I have to plan for longer, allocate longer times to make this kind of review videos again. But overall, I hope you found this. Hope you enjoy this. And once again, I want to hear your comments, especially if you disagree with me or if you have better ideas on how to book WWE show, Monday Night Raw, Tuesday Night SmackDown. See you in the next video. Asian Pitbull checking out.